From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Hello everyone, welcome to OpenLine. I'm Ben Hall. It is Tuesday night and we have a very good show tonight. We are talking about elder law issues, and we have done this before, but it's always a good and important conversation. A chance for you to call in with questions about the high cost of nursing home care. How do you prepare for that? About wills. Do you need a will, and under what circumstances is will a good idea? And how does property pass down and that kind of thing? We are very happy to have with us Barbara McGinnis. Barbara, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
We often have Tim take us.
Right.
And Tim is not able to be here. You work in his office.
I do. I've been with Tim for about 4 years now. I'm his associate attorney.
Very good. And yeah, so we appreciate you being here. We'll go through some of these same things. Those are some of the topics that I mentioned that we often talk about with Tim.
Right.
But you were talking about some things that are new. I often ask Tim, what are you seeing now in your office? What are some of the things you're seeing, people coming through the door with questions or that kind of thing? And nursing homes and how they're graded, is this something new, or what are you seeing now?
Nursing homes have always had both a survey process and for a long time now have had a grading process where they get a certain amount of stars. They are very proud to advertise if they're a 5-star facility, and it means a lot. But recently, the Nursing Home Compare website, that's actually a site maintained by the federal government, the Department of Health and Human Services, and it compiles data from their survey results and a lot of self-reported data from nursing homes. One of the things that has recently been added that is going to affect those gradings or those star rating systems, they've added a key measure about antipsychotic medication utilization. Now that's been big in the news for months and months, that we see facilities, whether or not they're using those particular medications appropriately. And that's going to be now a new quality indicator. So what has happened, and this has been a very recent change, like within the last week or two.
That's great. That's great.
That with this new rating system that we've seen already, these star scorings have dropped. Now that's not necessarily anything that's changed in that facility, so that's part of why I want people to know that the Nursing Home Compare website has had some new indicators added, so that if they're a consumer or if they have a family member in a facility and they're monitoring their scores and they see their facility that have had a score change, it's not particularly anything drastically different or bad that's happening in their facility.
It's not necessarily an incident that happened last week.
Exactly.
And now it's dropped their score.
So while it's important to watch these trends over time, now we've got new indicators, so we need to start watching those trends again for particular facilities. Now it's not just the use of those medicines, but it's the use of those medicines in the absence of particular diagnosis. The antipsychotic medicines are things like Zyprexa or Seroquel, Risperdal. Those are fairly common medications used in the treatment of patients with dementia, particularly if there's behavior problems. So what they're looking for is making sure that patients are appropriately evaluated and monitored for interventions, making sure that they're just not placed on these medications unnecessarily. So that's a new indicator.
And would that mean they would be just over-medicated in some cases, that patients maybe they're just being given too much of this sometimes, and so that's why they have decided, they being the federal government, I guess, to make this a new indicator and a way that nursing homes are evaluated?
Well, there's a lot of negative outcomes associated with those medications. Certainly they do help with the control of some of those behaviors, but the negative outcomes could be increased risk of falls, perhaps changes in their nutrition because they're not eating as much, because they're not as alert perhaps. So that's one concern, but the other thing is, as people change with their dementia process, making sure that they're reevaluated over time so that they're given, those medicines are changed appropriately.
I'm kind of surprised this would this would happen. I mean, it is kind of a big deal to have this monitored, and it is an indication that this is viewed as a very big issue. And now there will be a chance, because I think many of the people watching, maybe they have a loved one, they have a parent, and they're wondering, okay, which nursing home should I use? And now here is some more information, at least, they can use. So if that were your case, and you were looking at, okay, which nursing home should I use? And here's a nursing home that is lower based on this criteria, this issue. How would you read that? I mean, what should you do with that as a consumer?
I don't think I would let that one particular indicator influence my decision about a facility one way or the other too much. Monitoring or facilities having to report that use of that medication is not anything new. The only thing really that's new is that they're using it in this particular rating and star scoring system. Since probably back in the 90s, and in the 90s, I was a nurse working in long-term care, and so I remember filling out these sorts of assessment forms. We've captured that data for years, and there's been stringent requirements on facilities to monitor behaviors, monitor side effect profiles, looking for correct diagnosis all along. Just adding it to this now rating system is going to be a motivator as well. It's just one more thing that's going to impact the scoring system. Another big change in that nursing home compare change is the way they rate staffing, because facilities and families of people in a facility are very concerned with staffing models.
Sure they are, yeah. That's a major issue for a lot of people.
And they get particular scores. So how they get their stars associated with staffing patterns is going to change as well. And it's going to be more directly related to licensed nursing hours.
And how did this come about, that we have this new consumer information?
Well, I think that's, like I said, it's been part of the nursing home compare, has been out there for many, many years now, and has been a tool in helping families select nursing homes. And I think just the way we have any sort of process, if you've got a process of improvement that you're looking for, well, how can we improve the accuracy of the information? How can we improve the meaningfulness of information? And it's just a process improvement part.
All right, let's go to Donnie. Hello, Donnie.
Hello. Welcome to everybody there, and I like your show.
Thank you. What's on your mind?
I've got a question. I know people that works in the nursing home and stuff. Mm-hmm. And my hand-to-hand knowledge, they smoke pot and all kinds of stuff like that, and they still go to work and act like ain't nothing happening.
So you are aware of some inappropriate behaviors involving staff at nursing homes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about, and see, that's every family's kind of
Worry
biggest concern,
and
worry.
nightmare.
Yeah, nightmare. What do we do about that? I mean, if you were looking, how can you evaluate things like that? Is there a way, if you're looking to put your loved one in a facility, how do you review all this?
Well, I think one of the things that you have to take into consideration when you're choosing a nursing facility is proximity. I always tell families that to take that and very put that high on your list in terms of indicators, or when you're looking for a facility, someplace that's close to you so that you can visit frequently, so that you can see what's going on with the person that you love, and not just assume that everything is going to be okay every day, all day long, but that you need to go and be involved with their care, and you need to get to know the staff. And if you have concerns about whether or not a caregiver or someone that you encounter there is impaired, to please bring that into the attention of the administration.
Just go different times in the day.
Absolutely.
You can pop in anytime
Right.
and make sure things are going okay.
Right.
If you're uncomfortable with what you're seeing with some of the employees or the medication, I mean, these are things that you need to just kind of be on top of.
Right. You know, I'm sure administration of facilities, having impaired workers is a worry and a fear of theirs as well because of the obvious increased risk of accidents and negative outcomes that could possibly occur from that. You know, other indicators that you're going to take into consideration when you're choosing a nursing home for someone that you love, you want to take into consideration insurance contracts and not just assume that every facility is contracted with every insurance provider. Oftentimes people get into a nursing home because they're following a hospital stay and needing skilled or rehab services. So certainly making sure that they're contracted with your insurance is a big deal. Proximity, like we've already said, making sure that you can visit and that it's easy for you to get there several times a week. Looking at the nursing home compare and following the trends in staffing and how different facilities in your area. We're very fortunate in the Nashville area that we have a good variety of facilities and we have a good variety of good facilities.
Well, we have to take a break. I want to come back and we can talk about the cost.
Sure.
What can you expect to pay, and then how do you plan for that? That's the essence of all of it. And if you want to call, there's a number, 737+, 737-7587. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.